Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon. It can be early Thursday. Depends on where you are in the world. Want to give you a shout out, see how you doing out here. We're coming to you live. Got a lot of different things to talk about. We're going to get into it. NBA season started last night. So I'm going to get into this real quick. Gotta do this joint real quick. Hold on, let me put this thing down real quick. Gotta get this thing bopped up proper latte. Get up out of here and then come back. We're gonna talk about it. So let me go ahead and talk about it. So we back into the NBA season, and so it's a pretty simple question. We're gonna find out what the people say. Let me turn this thing on real quick. Okay, I am back. Hello, how you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I am back. Hello, how you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? We are live today. And we're live today. We're live. Give me one if you can hear me. Hmm. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? So we're back into the NBA season. What's up? Trying to get everything straight. Hey, how you doing? Did you just get my message? I just sent it to you. Just letting you know I'm live. How you doing? How you doing? Okay, I am back. Hello, how you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I am back. Hello, how you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Got some stuff I'm sending. How's everybody doing? Yes, I'm welcome back. Glad to have you. On today, not here tomorrow. We'll probably be back Friday. Probably Friday. Some days it's gonna be like on off, on off. So probably Friday, not Saturday, and definitely I'll be back on Sunday, not Monday. So it's gonna be like hit and miss. But again, if when I'm on live, we're gonna make it count. And we're live today. We're live. I'm still sending out some parts to let people know that I'm on. And if you like this live stream, feel free to share it. If you do. What's up? What's up? make everything straight. Hey, how you doing? Did you glad to have you on? Got some stuff from some. Yes, and welcome back. Glad to have you. On today, not here tomorrow. We'll, I think we'll be back Friday. Probably Friday. Yeah. Some days comes like on off, on off. So probably Friday, not Saturday, and definitely I'll be back on Sunday. So anyway, I got everything straight now. To let people know that I'm on. So anyway, I got everything up to get up to par now. I sent all the notifications, so we're gonna see. So let's get into some conversation because now I'm on. So let's make it count. I got a couple things I gotta work on. What's happening? How you doing? Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on today. Let's see what we got. If we get a good amount of people, I will be on for a while today. We're going to look into it. Let's get some conversation going. Let's see. I am waiting. Feel free to ask them. Feel free to ask the questions because I need them to go. So let's do it. If I don't get questions asked, then it shows me that it's not. So let's get into it. Um, I'd say the monsters because I think that the Adams family was popular, but the monsters was like a lifestyle. I remember watching both of them as a kid, and the truth is, the monsters were scary. I mean, the Adams family almost looked like something regular, and they were scary, but they seemed more interested. But the dude that played Herman Monster really did look like that, though. I mean, it was like he did, and it was a trip too, because I want to see people running out the monsters' houses was crazy. They really did look like that. So I'm going to use that as a future question. That's a great question too. Thank you. Thank you for asking that one. I like the Adams family, but I love the monsters. So I hope that answers that question for you. Something about the monsters, I was like, it was freaky and it worked. And then you had the blonde who was the niece. That was crazy. Then and everybody came out the stairwell. That was crazy. So I thought like, wow, his own person, his own person. It was a whole different, just like Dracula's had its own creation. You must ask me that question because you're thinking about Halloween or something, because that usually doesn't come up in conversation. But yes, I used to love me some monsters though. I used to watch that like used to watch that show like I watched Leave It to Beaver, you know. And mind you, as a kid, I'll be honest with you, there weren't a lot of black shows. So and we watched, but yeah, different day, different time. Okay. Okay. Wow. That's hard to believe because that album is almost 30 years old. And I remember when it came out just like yesterday. I still remember that. For me, it was the start of her end for me. Because I thought after, to me, she hit her peak for me 86 through 96. Okay. Michael's adult albums I bought with all my money. Even as a kid, I had enough either from hustling something I did to get off the wall. I bought Thriller. I bought all it. Now I didn't buy the Michael. I did buy the Michael one, but I didn't buy that Escape. I didn't buy most of the stuff afterwards though. I used to do that too with lunch money. I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I saved up. Hmm. The old saving your lunch money routine. I did that too. I remember. I remember. Those were the days. And if you saved up enough for about a couple weeks, that'd be just enough. I think I bought the CD and but they were on sale, so I got it. Okay, cool. Talking about Juice World. I knew one cat that likes Juice World. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I give you that. That was the problem with my Janet. That was the start of the decline. That's what I said. To me, up until that point, she was doing good, and then that's when everything after that it just kind of got, you know. But look, she hit a big time peak though. Okay. Oh, Janet's respected. I mean, first of all, when you look at where she came from as an artist, who her brother is, and what her brothers did, I mean, come on now. Sh- You know, you have to be bad because you either that or you're insane. I mean, you got uh the mothership of family acts, and you got arguably the goat for a brother, and then your cousin happens to be Stevie Wonder. So I'm like, you got some crazy standards. Well, then your brother, your oldest brother Jermaine, talented dude, talented scout. So I mean, you got Randy. Your brother was talented. I mean, you got you know. So, but anyway, Casabin, Casabin. I have to look them up. Yeah, it's just that his ruckus didn't hit because some of his music wasn't. It didn't quite because like he did great stuff with Switch, and he had a few decent songs, and him and Whitney had chemistry. But some of his stuff was corny. That's the sad part. Like he had some good songs, but then he had some corny stuff he did. Like some like "Let Me Tickle Your Fancy" was so corny and desperate. I mean, like "You Like Me, Don't You" was one of my jams. Let's get serious and where you are. And he has some cuts that I like. He has some cuts that I like, but then he got some don't take it personal. And I like the stuff with Whitney, but some of his stuff was just corny. And it's a shame too. People don't realize how talented he is. To be a kid to play the bass live and sing, I mean, the cat was bad. But he more people know him for having that greasy head than anything now. They know him. I think I look to you. R. Kelly wrote that one song and she did that money song with Alicia Keys. It was all right. You know the funny thing about I Look to You? R. Kelly had actually wrote that song like 10 years prior and Clive and him hang on to it, so I don't know why. CJ Stroud is okay, but I think it's the coaching. I just don't think they utilize enough skill set there. I just don't. But Seattle played good defense. I can't take nothing away from the Seahawks. They put heat on his behind. So I can't sit there and say that it was all on him. I think it's some of his coaching though when you get stagnant though. Do I know Ja who? Oh, of course I know. What about him? I'm asking you what about him because he's becoming almost like a do you know you ain't far off, you know. I won't say whack music, but they had ruckus that I didn't like. Nobody's exempt from having ruckus I didn't like. Whitney had ruckus that I didn't like, but her talent was so great that it made up for some stuff that KD's old. He's old. What you think he gonna be? I mean, he's pushing 40. Steph Curry, come on now. Is that really a real question? Come on now. That's not even a good that's not I hate to knock you. That's not even a good question. Because John Morant is fading. He should have been 2023. Was it 2022? They lost that second, they lost to Golden State. Ain't recovered since. Ain't recovered since. And it's a shame too, because that dude had the makings of something. Lost time for injuries and lost time for stupidity. And it's a shame too. Got spring in him, but the season just started. So how you know he having a good season? Season just started. Besides, I wouldn't say anything about LaMelo because they always look good the first 10 games, and in reality, there's 72 more games. I hope so. He been playing the league 20 years and he ain't done nothing. I mean, he's a waste. He's been like a broke Kevin Durant. He got a wicked first step, but he went to New Orleans and he seemed like he forgot how to play. He got ran out of LA. And I know his cousin personally, one of his cousins. And I think the dude got a nasty first step to the hole. Kind of remind me like an updated version of Eddie Jones, but he just don't stay consistent. So he better. He. I hope so. I understand in New Orleans because of what they. I got it. Zion was a mess. Ghostbusters. 60% saying yes. That's pretty good. 60%. Who do you think will be able to make a pro in Europe because of this? I don't know. They already playing like it is as it is now. And what they want to do is ultimately have like that as a world championship. That's what they ultimately gonna do. They'll find out to make a team over there and make it as a competitive team. That's what the plan is. I don't think it's about a player per se. I think it's about finding a team. I think that's the goal. Well, if you're talking about yourself, it just depends on what situation you're in. As long as you can shoot, you can handle the rock, you can pick and you can pop. That's what they're basically teaching, and you got to stay at it. I tell anybody if that's your goal to stay at it, but um, no, it's all in genetics, height and size. But that's irrelevant. It's all about your IQ. If you got a strong basketball IQ, you can overcompensate that with size. It's not that important. You just have to fundamentally stay with it. Size is overrated. Guys are tall don't necessarily mean that they're gonna be good if you don't get the right situation. It's an overrated situation. Okay. Underrated trio? You talking about a team that won or a team that lost? If you told me about a team that lost, I'd probably tell you Karl Malone, Stockton, and Jeff Hornacek. Because I think they really had great. They was Hornacek wasn't bad. Far as a team that won, what's happening? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. Um, I'd say Magic, Worthy, and Kareem. Because I don't think James Worthy gets enough due. Or dare I say Steph, Clay, and Durant. They didn't beat nobody though. Let me tell you something real quick on that. Jimmy Butler is gonna be good against a lot of teams because he's gonna give Steph a breather. He can defend, he can two man. Their problem is gonna be when they go against teams that can shoot. That's where Jimmy Butler don't have the firepower. That's where they gotta get something off the bench to balance. Perimeter, spread them out. Don't have a shooter. then they're going to beat teams. See, let me give you an example. When if Minnesota was healthy, that's a problem for Golden State. Teams that have perimeter players that can score, spread them out, because Jimmy Butler can't shoot like that. That's the problem. If we were in the days where you could be a tweener, inside out, and again, because the Lakers don't have a good perimeter, that's not their strong suit, and they depend on Luka to do it all. You see, Austin Reeves was struggling last night. I'm just telling you. That way, if you got a guy that's got some range, that's a problem. That guy they want to get rid of. Oh yeah, Kamingas, he can play. Kamingas can play. They're gonna have to manipulate a lot. I'm gonna tell you something too. If you're a Golden State Warrior fan, you know who they have problems with is Denver. They got no answer for Jokic. He wears their butt out on the perimeter, and so that's where they're missing. That's the subtlety of not having a guy like a Klay Thompson or somebody that can score. I don't know what that means. Whoever you are, Watts. But if we're talking about Golden State the way I see it, they're gonna be, they'll be feisty. They're a feisty team. But do I think they're a championship team? No. Too many things would have to go in their favor. And I don't think they can beat OKC in those 7-game series. I just don't. Especially if Chad Holmgren comes up like I think he's going to, and Jay Williams comes up, and that bench is legit with Caruso, I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem. I could be wrong, but I don't see Golden State quite there with Denver. And we'll see with Houston. Ain't nobody gonna be crackhead to make that move. What's up, TW? Ain't nobody gonna be dumb enough to make that move. This ain't the 90s or the 00s when the Bulls and the Lakers used to make them crackhead deals one side of the fair. Oh, I bet you wish. Houston's got a good squad. They just got to figure out how to get guard perimeter play, a little bit on the defense in their bench. If they can play well enough, they can be a problem. Now, ain't nobody gonna make that move because Gobert got way too much for him. And B would have to make sure he plays. Oh, if he plays with Ant, oh yeah, it'd be sick. Because Ant Edwards is an upgrade over Tyrese Maxey, and I like Tyrese Maxey a lot, but there are tiers to this. Believe me, MB with Ant and Julius Randle on the perimeter, they would be dangerous. Then you could stack 3 or 4 cats off the bench because it would take a move like that. Then I would think they would be contenders. So 67% saying yes, they will repeat. That's pretty impressive. So we'll just have to wait and see, though. But yeah, if you could make a move like that, I would say, yeah, you have a chance. But I don't think there's a crackhead GM that's going to make that move. Even though, realistically, you could make that move because Gobert exactly is what, if Philadelphia had, if Maxey's legit and you got another guard play, But Gobert just don't score enough, and you just can't make a move like that. That's the problem. If he could go against what the Lakers got in the middle, he probably could get a crazy deal. But he don't play like that every game. So we'll see. Okay, let's get some comments going. People getting quiet again. Please hit that like up. Got a lot of heads in there. Keep on hitting the likes up, hitting the poll up. See if I got the thing. Get that thing. Just looking. Hmm. So we're gonna see if we got anything coming through. Hmm. Let's see what we got real quick. Okay, let's get some comments going because I will see if anybody's still on. It's got nice and quiet. What's happening? How you doing? I remember you from the other day. How are you? Thank you for coming through. Feel free to answer questions, and if you got any comments, feel free. I don't know where everybody's at. I will be on for probably a 20 more minutes. Everybody's kind of gotten quiet, so When it gets quiet, that tells me that people aren't that sometimes in tune. Yeah, I'm okay, just in chill mode. Just waiting for somebody to answer some questions. That's all. Okay. Well, not saying you, but if you got any questions you want to ask, feel free. Because when it goes quiet, that's why I get kind of numb, and I want to make sure. I want to make the live stream count. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow, so and I'll probably Friday. Okay, fair enough. These are random questions that they ask on here, so I usually don't ask multiple questions, but I just say, it comes up on the feeder. If I trusted their coach, I think they got talent, but I don't like their coach. Their offense is coach kind of stagnant. I like Pablo a lot. I just don't think they got enough. There's something missing because they can shoot that thing, but Bernie Mac, that's in a blowout. Unlike some people, I like Steve Harvey's show, which I used to watch, and I like him on Family Feud. But Bernie Mac could do. Bernie Mac had a non-live studio track, and his show was great TV show. He worked rating movies. He had stand up. He did the whole thing. He did the whole thing. I like Steve Harvey, but Bernie Mac had hit a different level of funny. He hit a different level. But I will use that for a future question. I will use it for a future one. So you gave me two good ones to work with. So I will use those for a future. They will be future though. So if you happen to be a member, anybody who's a member, you get peeks into my future videos. And I got feature videos that are down the line. Well, sometimes I'll do something and then I won't put it out for a while. Unless, of course, somebody says something that really just triggers it where it's like it has to be out almost overnight. Very seldom do I come across something but I keep everything. It's just that certain things are more geared, depends on where it hits. So that's a hint hint. A Soul Train. James Brown on the Tammy Show. That was iconic. Motown. I mean not Motown, Soul Train had iconic moments. Ed Sullivan Show had moments, you know. Now, obviously, Motown 25 was, and I had a buddy of mine who's actually in the audience, and he said TV didn't do it justice. Said Michael tore that stage up so bad they had to like put everything back together. He tore the house up. And I remember what that was like, cause to watch it, you know, it was amazing. You know, couldn't do no wrong back then. So it all depends on what some people look at. I think that because people grew up on it was so many great artists, and and it's hard because I told the story all the time. If it wasn't for Michael Jackson that night and his brothers was great, Marvin Gaye playing that piano was scary. I know some great performances that night. Mhm. Okay. All right. So let's get some more questions going. That's a good before I go. I got 20 more minutes. Okay. 15 people, 60% saying yes to OKC. I'm pleasantly surprised, but I'm glad to see that. Um, they got a good chance, unlike Boston, who got hurt, unlike Denver, who lost a lot of people. There's something about Shea Alexander that I did too. Your mama wasn't the only one. And so my story, have I ever shared you the story? If I ever told you the story, give me a one for yes. If I never told you the story, give me a two for no. One is for yes, two is for no. If I never told you the story, how that night was. I remember that night verbatim. I can tell you that story like it happened last night, verbatim. I remember that day. Yeah, I did. I did a video on him. You have to look at my videos. If you watch my videos, I did do it on him. I did it last week, and I had a live stream when I talked about him over the weekend too. People gotta watch my videos. There's not too much that I don't miss when I talk about different things in the culture. So I did video on him. I covered him. And the video I did on him is on TikTok. It's on Instagram. It's everywhere. Yep. Go back and look at my videos because it was about a week ago. hmm It was funny too because I had done a live stream. I'm trying to think what day was it. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Anyway, I got off and I'm giving a shout out to Michael Dean who runs the Prince podcast. And he happened to had that thing when he mentioned about D'Angelo, and I was like, whoa. So he's the first one. Funny you mentioned Prince. For me, hmm, there's a couple that come to mind. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when he did that guitar solo, and then when my guitar gently weeps, and he threw the guitar up in the air and never came back down. Um, I like that one, and I like Probably when he did the Purple Rain at the American Music Awards in '85. He didn't sound that good vocally, but his guitar playing was on point. Okay, so you never heard the story. Okay, so here it goes. So I used to live in Houston, Texas, and my grandmother went to Ron's Crispy Fried Chicken. That was a place called Ron's. So we were in the bedroom. We had left the kitchen. We were in the bedroom, and my grandmother had an old black and white TV. It's one of them kind that you kind of hit the box, but it worked. It worked fine. So it was on NBC. Let's start at 8 o'clock. So when the show came on, I was looking forward to seeing Rick James. Kid you not. I like the Jack, I like my all that, but I wasn't. But Rick didn't show up. He fell out with Motown. Anyway, still eating. And the Jacksons performed. And then Michael, they just had that look in his face. Mark Brown Mark, who played Prince of Revolution. Yeah, I did, not too far. And also, what was it? Missouri City. It's like an hour away. It was crazy back then. 713 area code 832 now. It's crazy. Um, so what happened was he got and performed, and my mouth by hit my leg. I was like, cause I mean, it was that kind of a performance. It was like, and he did the only non Motown song. He just killed it that night. I mean, the curl, the outfit, the drip. He was just on another planet that night. And it was like one of them things that everybody saw in the neighborhood. And of course, if you went to the bus stop the next day, everybody had footprints. If they were looking for anybody to be in footprints, it was all because people were moonwalking. Michael had people. He turned the game out. But Marvin Gaye that night got on that piano, did all those crazy rolls and runs. He was high, but his playing was crazy. He stayed in Third Ward, and my grandfather used to have a bar on the Sixth Ward. It was next to old Methodist church my grandma and I went to. The former was in the Third Ward. Third Ward. The wards were legendary, and depending where you are, he was preaching there. But I didn't make no correlation, at the time. I think my grandmother, somebody saw him somewhere. Yeah, he was great. I still got a Foreman grill too, by the way. He was one of the greatest, hardest hitters ever. I think it was Holyfield or somebody said, there's a couple cats said no one hit like Foreman. The only person I ever knew that talked bad about George Foreman was Larry Holmes. Everybody else gave Foreman some love because Foreman could hit. And you talk about an act too. I mean, the Foreman grills were huge. The guy had an incredible act too of his life. Yeah, yeah. Because when he won that fight, I mean, that was crazy. He beat Moore. So I remember that too. I was back in '94. I remember watching that fight. It was on a Saturday night, and I think I came back from Burger King. And he said, "You got to beat the champion." Um, he said, that you got to knock him out. Can't depend on the judges. And I thought, wow. And he did. He hit him with that combo piece, and it was all she wrote. 60% say OKC will repeat. Okay, that's cool. Yes. Yeah, he was incredible. Woman was wicked. Hmm. Yeah, he was something else. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's get some conversation going. I got about 10 more minutes because I want to see if people got something they want to talk about. Got these different questions come about. So let's see. Appreciate everyone that's hitting the clicks and the likes and taking the poll. Appreciate that. That helps the channel grow. Appreciate everything everyone does. Okay. Okay. I don't know what that meant, but we'll just take that for what that meant. Okay. We got a few more minutes. I don't like that one. People that you think are going to do you harm, but you can always listen to them. It's a twisted adage. It's like you don't take advice, but you listen to what they're saying and also what they're not saying. So, but you got to use common sense. It's a judgment call. It's with anything, you know. It's like if you've been through something and someone is trying to like downplay it, and it's like they're just not doing you right, then don't listen to it. Yeah, I can tell you a lot of subjects that people who've not been through it can't relate to what you're saying. There's a lot of subjects like that. Hope that helped though. But there's a lot of people I could say that about. Anyway. I'll be on for a few more minutes today. It's pretty low key today. But the polls is great. Appreciate all the comments. And of course, keep hitting the likes up. And this live stream will be on. Okay. Okay. I'm just waiting to see if anybody wants to say anything. Because I will. I think I'll pretty much call it a day today. I hate to have to go because, and I know when people ask, but then if I don't get, like if I'm not getting the Q&A, then it kind of, so we got to have a lot of, we got a lot of people on the poll and got a lot of people on the views. It's just a lot of people coming through. That's all. So, yeah, but you still can learn from them, though. Selfish people make you learn quick because you watch how they roll. We always get attracted to people that aren't like us because we're amazed at how they're able to compartmentalize and get what they want. It's an incredible instinct. So that's kind of how I look at it. Anyway, been on an hour today, so yeah, you always want to look at what their interests. You'll learn a lot early on. People that's got interest beyond you will let it be known in more ways than one. So it's about what they say and what they don't. What you look into. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it now. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you, and feel free to. The video will be live and be able to watch. Feel free to join me on other platforms, and if you have a thing you want to contribute, feel free. If you want to donate, as the PayPal or anything that however you want to do, feel free. And I welcome everybody and appreciate the questions. Thank you, Charlene. Appreciate everyone that came through time, the usuals and the newbies, and for participation. So I will probably be back on Friday, if not tomorrow, but more than likely Friday. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.